it is finally time to watch Daredevil Born Again Season 2 finale. And just look at this card, man. It's a hollow or a silver, what do you say, whatever. But yeah, it's a Daredevil comic card. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 finale. I'm super hyped to check it out. We all know what's going down. We all know what's going to happen. But the creative decisions that they have made, the way story progresses forward into the next season, I'll check it out. Then we'll talk about it. So I'll see you in a bit. First of all, like, just wow. The ending of the season is genuinely very, very interesting. It not just closes on this part, it also opens up a whole new opportunity and a whole new line of storytelling that they are going to go for in the next season. And this, of course, directly ties into Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we'll talk about it. But first, let's talk about the entire structure of this season, this episode in particular, as well as it was the finale, and all the things that it has set up for future premises. So first of all, there is a major reveal in here, which is, of course, Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and it is revealed to everyone in the courtroom. And that entire scene, like the first half of the episode, was just set in the courtroom, and it was one of the most intense scenes I've seen in superhero media. And it genuinely portrayed these both sides, the good, the bad, of both vigilantism and what Kingpin is doing, like ruling over. And it culminates on that as well, like the good and the bad of vigilantism as well. Like, we see all these Daredevil supporters beat up Kingpin, whereas they have to be better than that, and Matt knows it. But it kind of closes on what Kingpin expects and sees these vigilantes to be, these destructive force, whereas even he is the destructive force. Even he is the one who wants to control everything and put everything the way he wants it to. He wants to put the pieces where he feels they are fit, rather than them actually fitting them in the puzzle. Now, this season actually showed us, and especially this episode, like the importance of Daredevil in the current scenario, like what is happening, how it is happening, and the way he has impacted people, and how much indirectly has impacted what Mayor Fisk has done in the city, and which again trickles down to amount of pressure he puts on the people. So yeah, it's like it's cyclical. Everything is like happening because of something else and something else, and but it just keeps on going and going. There is no end to it. So in order for it to end, both of the parties, like literally Daredevil and Kingpin, both have to end, both have to take out of their practice and just do something else, or just not do what they are doing. And that is the only way the city can be at peace, and this portrays it clearly. And then, of course, we see that beautiful scene between Bullseye and like the fake Bullseye that was there. If I'm remembering correctly, there is a scene Poindexter portrays as Matt Murdock, or like he portrays as Daredevil, and they were fighting. If I'm not wrong, if that is a scene somewhere in the earlier seasons, and say, "Oh, this is like a perfect mirror of that." But yeah, he literally kills the other guy, and he is now working with Charles. So I imagine Charles is doing something which is related to like something like a Task Force X, something like that. Maybe he's doing something like that. So yeah. And then we also see a cameo from Luke Cage. He appears in here at the end. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones have a baby, and of course he's going to return in next season as well. So yeah, he's back into the scene. Let's see what happens, where that goes into the next season. Now again, an interesting part in here is how much Daredevil, Matt Murdock, affects people's lives. Like, be it Heather, be it Karen, like that impact when he reveals that he is Daredevil, the impact that you see on people's faces in that courtroom scene says a lot about not just Matthew Murdock, but Daredevil as an entity, how he affects people. And that was something very interesting to see. And then we see the anti-vigilante task force go down as well. Even they are in prison with Matthew Murdock. So let's see what happens. Now, here is the interesting part. Here is the interesting thing that can happen in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So there is a scene that we see that Spider-Man is in prison, and there is like the hand, the organization hand, which is kind of attacking him. Now, it can happen that Daredevil might fight alongside Spider-Man in the next movie, because I mean, of course, this happens right after that. And we are also getting the Punisher special in just a week. Like, it is literally after the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Let's see what happens with Punisher and how even that leads into Spider-Man. So now this kind of confirms or makes us hope that Daredevil appears in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I'm hoping, because of what has happened and that kind of prison scene in that sequence that we saw in the trailer, I'm hoping he appears in Spider-Man, and it would kind of make sense because Spidey is fighting the Hand, and I mean, you have to bring Daredevil in. So yeah, that makes kind of sense. But let's hope. Let's hope. We cannot say anything for sure. But yeah, overall, I loved the season, especially this episode in particular. It was very intense. It was, there was like so much to it. And again, that scene with Kingpin, and how he is literally killing the Daredevil supporters in that hallway, like that was brutal. Like you can see the rage, and the way he mocks people. And he is not just mocking people, he is mocking life on its whole. Like he's just mocking people's decisions. Like after Vanessa is gone, he has completely broken down, and we see that. And we see even when he accepts that deal with Daredevil, we see that broken Kingpin. And that is something very heavy. And to even to feel something for, like, the antagonist of the series, you have to do something right with the direction, and that has particularly been done in this one. So yeah. And we of course see Heather turn into, the Muse. She finally puts on the cowl. We'll see what happens with that in the next season. And yeah, they're definitely going to do that. But yeah, this season was literally one of the best seasons in superhero media I've ever seen. Like, this was intense. This was like on the track. We see things happening, and as they are happening, there is a meltdown, there is a boiling point, there is like this point break where everything just goes into chaos. But then how does that chaos end? Where does that lead? So yeah, this is definitely interesting. I absolutely love this one. And yeah, I'm just hoping to see where this leads in the next 2 months with Spider-Man, with Punisher, what is happening there in New York, and let's see where that leads into the next season of Daredevil. So yeah, I loved it. Sub to the channel, everything superheroes comics here. And yeah, I mean, I cannot just appreciate this season enough. Sub to the channel. That's it. I'll see you in the next.